Saints by 8, over-unders 51. These teams faced off in week 11. Saints won 48-7. Wentz threw 3 picks. Saints lit him up. Traquan Smith had 10 catches for 157 yards and touchdowns. Probably the only really good game he had all year. Injury-wise, should be good. Clean slate for the Saints. Eagles, Alshon Jeffrey was on the injury report this week, but he should be okay. He had a rib injury that he suffered last week. They're hoping to get Sidney Jones back. Their secondary, the Eagles, has just been decimated over the second half of the season. And the scrubs who did look like they should be playing anywhere 5 weeks ago are stabilizing a little. I mean, they're still beatable for sure. But they're not as horrendous as they look. Maybe not as horrendous as they look. Let's watch on Sunday. So the Eagles, since that loss, they've won 6 out of 7. In those 7 games, they've allowed 69 rushing yards to opposing running backs a game. Like their front, Fletcher Cox is a monster, and their run defense is still pretty good. The front seven is still pretty good. Michael Bennett has been practicing during the week and playing on Sundays. He's pretty good too. I mean, they're solid up front. On the other side of the ball, they can't run. 3.9 yards a carry for the year. I mean, last week they ran for nothing against the Bears. They're not going to. Nick Foles this game is on his shoulders. This is not, to me, Nick Foles needs to have Nick Foles will probably have a good game. It's Nick Foles needs to have a good game. It's like they just can't run it all. And I don't think the Eagles are going to shut down the Saints. I mean, I think they're going to, their defense is good, but, I don't think they're going to hold them to 17 or anything like that. I mean, Nick Foles is going to have a big one. And I said last week, he's good. He's playing well. He had a great last drive. They scored 16 points. You know? I mean, Nick Foles, I don't think Nick Foles is lighting the Eagles up, the Saints up for 31. I mean, I didn't think that in the Super Bowl last year either, and I was wrong. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Foles was playing a really good defense in the Bears, and obviously the Saints don't have that kind of defense. So there's a better chance, I think, this week that he'll be a little bit better than he was last week. Although he was not great last week, but he was okay. It's really this shouldn't be a difficult decision to make. It should be the Saints all day, every day. But it's funny how one guy like Nick Foles, a backup quarterback, can kind of make you think about that kind of thing. About maybe the Eagles can. I mean, they do have the Nick Foles pixie dust that has been really, really good for them. At some point, I think a couple weeks ago I kind of compared it to Tim Tebow when he was doing those crazy things that one year and beating the Steelers in the playoffs and stuff. But Tebow eventually lost, and Foles eventually will lose. And I think this week is probably the week to do it. Did you hear that story about Sean Payton walking in the locker room this week? It was kind of all over the place. It was a great story. For those who don't know, it's Sean Payton walked into the Saints locker room with like 4 security guards and a wheelbarrow with the Lombardi trophy in it and like $225,000 worth of cash. And he said, and he kind of addressed the team, y'all want this? And he said, win 3 effing games.
Right.
And apparently the locker room went crazy. And that's a little thing, but I read about this in the Pick Watch. To me, it speaks a little bit to how loose a team is and the mentality. And how well Sean Payton knows that team and what he has to do to motivate them and just keep them loose. I mean, just to keep it fun. And I think that if you relate to baseball and managers in baseball, some of the best managers I've ever dealt with or seen up close, Bobby Cox and Dusty Baker. Now these guys, Bobby Cox to Braves, Dusty Baker when they were in Cincinnati. And these guys were not great winning World Series that much. I mean, Bobby Cox won one World Series. I guess Dusty never won a World Series, right? So
I don't think so. Right? No, the Giants. Did they win with the Giants?
Did they win that year?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, he has 1 or less, whatever it is. So they're not great like tacticians, but what made them great managers was the way they kept the team going during the 162-game season. Kept them loose. The team, their team loved them. The way they managed the team in the season, just managing personalities, all that kind of stuff. To me, that's a big thing. Sean Payton is on that same level of keeping a team loose, keeping a team ready to go, and keeping a team motivated. To me, not that that's bigger than anything that we're going to talk about or have talked about as far as stats and injuries and stuff. But to me, that's a thing that can be really important. So when I heard that story, I was like, man, that's really, really great for the Saints.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they've been there before, so that'll help too. I mean, they all haven't. Yeah. It's been a while for them, but you know what I mean? The coach and quarterback have. So there's some experience in that room. Yeah, I think I'm with you. You said, no, there should be no question. I agree with you. And I know the Eagles have been good lately, and good for them, and they're the defending champs, and that's great. I think the Saints are too good. I mean, I don't think they're 48-7 better like they were 7 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. But I think they're better. By the way, those stats I mentioned earlier, also the Saints are second in the league against the rush. So, I mean, the Eagles are not going to run. They're not. It's not going to happen. So, and if Darren Sproles breaks a 60-yarder, I'm wrong. But it's not going to happen. So we're both taking the Saints and covering the 8, and that's that.
Yeah.
All right.
Out of every playoff game we've talked about this week and last week, I think this one's probably the easiest to – I have the least difficulty with this one.
I think it makes sense. I think that, to me, this and the Rams make the most sense. But this one more. By the way, the over-under, 51. So it was 48-7 last time. Pace of play, these teams are in the bottom 6, both of them. So I'm going under. I think, I don't know, 30-14, something like that.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles fairy dust, Nick Foles pixie dust run comes to an end here. I think we'll go.
I could be like a 34-10 kind of game. Yeah, I think so too.
NFLPickBox.com. Experts are 54-46 toward the Saints with points, but the fans 70% Eagles. So the fans love the dogs across the board.